a limit to how long you should hold up a waiter serving finger food? If questions like this have crossed your mind, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at some of the nuances of everyday interactions that make up the monotony of life. Let's never notice the difference in taste between different varieties of small tomatoes. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork. Now, before we get started, Dion, we were at the pub recently for Christian's birthday. It was a lovely day, lovely afternoon.
Thank you, Josh.
Happy birthday,
Christian.
babe.
Do I take credit for it being a lovely day just because it was my birthday at the pub?
Yeah, because you put it together.
So the host gets the credit for the...
When there's good chat and good company, the host should get credit.
Because I curated the list.
And when the weather's good.
playlist.
What about the weather?
The weather
he get
made...
credit?
Yeah.
He doesn't get any credit?
But the pubs were
Why?
great. The weather was great. I shouldn't get credit for those things, right?
No, but it's the mixture of people and it's the
Yeah.
weather that you chose as well.
Yeah.
But something that happened while we were there, Dion and I overheard a conversation between Dion and Alex, one of our other friends. Dion said, I've run out of credit. Alex, can you fire up a hotspot for me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't understand, Dion, how someone like us is dealing with phone credit and running out.
I love how you describe me as someone like you and Christian.
Hang on.
No, someone in their 30s.
Hang on, that's what you mean by us?
Yeah. Non-boomer.
Tech-conscious 30-year-old.
Not even tech-conscious, non-boomer.
I'm sorry if I don't want to have a credit check every time I sign up for postpaid. I'm sorry that I want flexibility in my lifestyle.
What plan are you on? Tell me, what plan are you on? He's checking his notes.
I'm sorry.
He's come prepared.
I'm sorry that I want to try service and see what it's like. I've got lots of reasons. But the best reason was that I didn't put on auto top up. And you can do that with prepaid. Mate, postpaid, it's not what it used to be.
How much are you paying a month that you ran out?
It's $40.
Roughly.
It's
40
not, it's not even that good a deal.
And how much data? And you used up all the data or something?
No, ran out of time. This is something you had trouble understanding then and there as well. It's prepaid, if you remember. It's 28 days of usage.
Okay.
And then sometimes it runs out. And if you're a knob and you haven't put in your credit card details, you're fucked.
So what runs out? Your money, your credit.
No, the days. It's 28 days of credit.
His credit for that month has expired.
So, hang on,
but
you
why-
lived the same life as we did.
Wait a second. What I'm struggling to understand is why wouldn't you use postpaid then? Just a regular plan.
If you're setting up auto top up,
isn't that a
the
plan?
same?
But why would you not use prepaid and an auto top up?
Because I don't
more
have to
expensive.
worry with a plan.
No, but I don't have to worry if I've got auto top up.
But you forgot to put auto top up on.
But now I've got it on.
But surely it's more expensive.
No, it's not. It's not.
Really?
Nah, it's not.
Oh, so it's just inconvenient then.
Yeah, it's just inconvenient. It's great.
I'm struggling to understand. So it sounds like the distinction is negligible.
Yeah.
So why not do what everyone else is doing?
Because I think it was that I wanted to get a SIM card and I wanted to get it quick. And so I went to a supermarket and they had prepaid there. And they had postpaid.
Hang on, and that's what you use on your phone, a quick SIM card from a supermarket.
Bizarre,
Hang on. It's a normal SIM card that you can get from a supermarket.
Came in a Kellogg's box.
But I don't get. Surely it's more. It has to be more expensive.
Why?
Because the
Postpaid is month to month.
for $40 a month.
Yes.
you must be getting way less value than someone on a year contract.
No. Hang on. Postpaid isn't year. Postpaid is month. Are you on a year? Are you on a contract?
Depends.
You got to be an idiot to be. I hope you're not in a contract, Josh.
Yeah, I'm not in a You're an idiot,
Wait,
Josh.
are you on a contract?
No, I pay for 12 months at a time, so I'm not drastically different.
And you
I
think
got a
that's a
good
good
deal.
idea, being locked into a contract.
It's not it's prepaid, but for a year. It's
so-
for 12 months.
I'm sorry.
And it is way cheaper. It was $120 for 12 months.
Hang on.
$120, 12
No,
months.
we're not. So are you saying if you run out of credit, so you said it's, what is it? It's a 250 gig or something?
Josh,
Yeah, whatever.
I know the deal.
You've kicked yourself in the shin.
Hang on. Let me finish. Excuse
Dion,
me.
do you mind if I finish for you?
He'll do a better job. Do it.
Josh, the time frame is the only issue here. If you forget your auto top up after the year, you're going to have to ask someone for their phone
You
for
idiot.
a hotspot.
It's the same thing.
No, it is once a year I worry about that. Once a year. You're doing it 12 times every year.
No, not now.
There's room for failure on your
Hang on. So why don't you put auto top up on your once a year and then you never
shop her out for a good deal each time.
every
For
year?
that
I do it every month.
Nah, too much effort. Too much effort.
No. But that's my no. But
I
that's,
never thought that
that's a
I
good
would
argument.
go from so firmly with Josh to somewhere in between. But still very confident that I've made the best decision
Hey,
for
what do
my
you got?
life. Just a regular plan that I pay for every month.
You go on like a 36-month contract, wouldn't you?
I'm not on a contract. I can get out of it whenever I like. It's with Telstra.
Oh, big boys.
Big boys.
Okay.
Because I'm a corporate player. I've got big calls to make and big data to use.
And I'm in the bush a lot.
I think, Josh, the more interesting part of this, if I may say so, was Josh's alarm that I asked another human to hotspot. When someone asked me to hotspot,
Yeah.
I'm like, Christ, I get to use this. I get to use this data for good.
You're kidding.
I'm serious. I love being asked to hotspot.
The asking for the hotspot is, I think, the weirdest part about.
Are you serious? So I ran out of credit, had to get data to buy credit, and you reckon that's the weirdest
you
part?
had to get data to buy credit.
You didn't know I was hotspotting?
No, I thought you're like, I want to check
But
my
still,
messages.
it's
Why didn't
still-
you ask?
It's
Wasn't
still
funny.
Wait, it's still so weird in 2023 for someone who lives in Australia to be asking someone for data on their phone to
Yeah,
say,
that's weird.
my mobile is the place that I cannot access the internet.
I can tell you that I thought this might come up. So I messaged my friend Alex and I asked, were you inconvenienced at all by hotspotting at Christian's birthday? He said, no, not at all. Found it very funny that you have a prepaid phone arrangement.
Yeah, it's very amusing,
Nah,
but just don't make a habit of it.
I'll do whatever I want. I'll do whatever I want. And Josh, get a recurring debit on your 12-month.
Nah, don't want to.
Don't worry about it, mate. You won't have to worry
I'll
about
get
it.
a better deal next time.
I'll get a better deal every month and save shitloads of money and be able to afford a.
Do you mind if I change the topic?
Yes, go
I
for
feel
it.
like we've got started now.
Yeah.
So I was at my cousin's 30th on the weekend, and it was a big, like, think about, Italian 30th at home, big food affair.
Yeah,
Lots
okay.
of food everywhere. And then I was sitting outside, and somewhere in the middle of the night, the kind of family members started carrying around these platters. And I saw my cousin's mother-in-law carrying around this big platter of fruit. It was huge. And when she approached me, I was sitting, she was standing, and she had to do a little bend over with the platter. I could see straight away that the hand was not steady, and she was locked. She wasn't smiling. She was like, would you like some?
Well, she wouldn't do that often, hold
No.
something in one hand.
No.
I mean, I know her well.
But even for wait staff, I remember carrying around platters with like drinks on it, just being like, everyone take this, please. It's
heavy.
so heavy.
Yeah.
And so immediately I was confronted with the options in front of me. Do I take all of the fruit that I want, which was a lot? I'm really into fruit at the moment.
Wow.
And
God, he's amazing, isn't
and
he?
it was a beautiful platter. I wanted watermelon, I wanted pineapple, I wanted grapes and cherries.
It's a great platter.
Or do I recognize that this is a very uncomfortable position for her and she's just a mother-in-law and I only take a piece?
It's different when... So, Josh, do you reckon it's different when it's a family member holding it to like when it's a professional?
I think in any case, you just take one or two. You take whatever you can get in that moment.
But how long is the moment?
One or two things. Like I reckon you can take like max two things.
Depends until her arm snaps off as well. That's
Okay,
the
ready?
moment.
Let's play out the beats of this. For those listening, you'll hear the beats.
So did you-
and for those watching, I'm holding the platter. Josh, could I get? Would you like some fruit?
Yeah, sure. I'll grab one and two. That's great. Thank you so much.
No worries.
That's maxed out.
That's perfect.
yeah.
I've maxed out
That's
on
about
that.
3-4
maxed
seconds.
out and perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Were you happy with that? 3-4 seconds?
That's great.
So
Absolutely.
here's a question: was she offering any napkins as well? Or was it
No.
purely fruit?
Nah.
So at that point, all you kind of only get two things you can hold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go more than that because you don't have a napkin to load up, and you're not going to load up on your hand.
Wait, did you have a plate?
No, had nothing.
Oh, so you were going to take a whole bunch of fruit in your hands.
Which was, I would have. But I guess that was the limitation. I would put one in the mouth and then filled up my hand like a fist, like a gorilla.
like a pelican.
Yeah,
Pelican would be better.
Yeah, sure, pelican who carries something in their fist.
and dismisses all the fish and just wants fresh fruit.
You ever watch pelican boxing?
I was about to answer no. I think it makes a big difference also what the item is as well. And really with finger food more generally, is there anything more disappointing than the sushi finger food. That is the worst. It's always just cucumber. It's it's cucumber and a
in
bit of
the
rice
sushi.
and in the sushi, and then it's shocking soy that you need to dip. I
That
never want to
is
dip my sushi.
In terms of the scale of finger food, sushi is on the worst end because it's
Yeah.
interactive.
But it's also-
so it forces that person to be
Yeah.
there for longer. You don't want an interactive finger food. You want to take a grab and keep.
Well, what happens with the interactivity, I think, the problem is anything dribbly, no good.
No good. Can't be good.
Like any
Nah.
kind of sauces and
Yes.
stuff, unless it's real thick, like
Yeah.
a sour cream.
yeah.
Ooh.
Anything other than that.
What do you mean? Like a
'cause
big
that'll
thick
stay on.
boy? Yeah,
Yeah.
with a
But
bit of salmon.
the dipping again.
Yeah,
it's
I
an
agree.
interactive. It's like a theater experience.
Unless the dip is in an alternate hand
Yep.
that's separate from the main platter. Because then it's a bit more like...
Hang on. So you're saying that they're carrying the hot chips in one hand
Yeah,
and then the sauces in the other?
Maybe that works.
What is your favorite type of finger food? Because when the mini burgers come, the nights,
sliders.
the nights, that's fucking great, isn't it?
Thank you.
It's so good. It's so good. No. I don't like sliders. I like mini burgers.
What's the difference, mate?
I don't really. There's a. You know what? There's a word that doesn't need to exist in the world. Sliders. Don't need it.
Yeah.
We do not need it.
But
burger.
sliders are mini burgers. So I agree with you. I think a mini burger, but anything that comes is a smaller version of itself. Like noodles that come in a small box of noodles that you take.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Wait,
like,
you like it?
love it.
No, you love the idea,
Nah.
but then you eat it and they're shit.
Doesn't matter what they taste like. I love when they're
Excuse
coming
me?
around
It
like a small box of chips.
So you
Little
want
carton of chips
You
that you
want
just
it to have
grab
its
it.
own container.
Yeah. It's like you don't need a plate. You just take it off and then you're eating it from the thing.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not into that.
How nuts is it at a wedding that everyone gets excited when the hot chips come out at the end? They're like, thank fuck. We're finally
what?
getting fed.
Hot chips are coming out at the end?
At the end of a wedding, some
What wedding?
weddings.
Which wedding?
Some weddings.
Is it the same family member?
yeah. Actually, she did.
Really? Hot chips?
At the end of some weddings, what they'll do is they'll be like, everyone's a little bit drunk. They're going to want some tasty, greasy food. We'll bring out some chippies for everyone to snack on.
Because I...
Have you ever experienced that, John?
yeah, you've had chips come around at a wedding, surely.
Nah.
Well,
Really
the
haven't.
The thing that I realize in terms of the ones that I like and dislike, the ones that is a single mouthful are my favorites because
It's got to be it.
taking multiple bites of a thing, that's hell.
Yeah.
When you have to maintain it, if I can
Yes.
just grab it and in one, hold
Yes.
into the gob, brilliant,
Wait,
perfect.
what
Don't have
about-
to worry about napkins.
So
don't have to
what
worry
about
anything
if you have a
else.
napkin? Does your thoughts change on it a little bit? Like, are you happy with a double gob if you know you got a good solid
Yeah,
napkin?
if you got a solid napkin to work from.
That sucks. What do you...
Well, those napkins suck. That's the problem. Napkins don't suck. The finger food napkins suck.
What is
They're
the
tiny?
What is the
Tiny.
primary purpose for the napkin? Is it to clean
go.
your mouth afterwards,
You know,
or is it
straps.
to clean your hands?
Fantastic.
Or is it to hold the food so your hands don't get dirty?
Wouldn't it be great if this podcast was a ring in? We've got Scott on the phone. Scott, is what is the primary purpose of a napkin? Just don't know. No, that's Timmy. Timmy, get off the phone. The primary purpose, I think, in that situation, it's to hold the food.
Yes, I think that's how you're going to use it, but it's not how you should use it.
Yeah.
A napkin isn't for holding food.
What's it for?
It's for cleaning your mouth.
Okay, so it's a tidy up afterwards.
Absolutely. But I don't they don't bring around plates. And that's why I love the things that are self-contained.
Well, how about do you guys? What are you assessing when that tray arrives?
Mm-hmm.
What things influence your decision?
How hungry I am.
How hungry you are.
I mean, sometimes I'll eat finger food that I wouldn't ever imagine.
Sight unseen. You just reach over your shoulder.
I'd never
Yeah.
imagine eating it in another situation, but I'm starving by that point. But it's also trying to work out, okay, there's a big meal coming up as well. How much am I eating of this finger food?
Yeah.
Question, dietary requirements, Dion.
Oh, shocking.
FODMAP. What is your
hell.
approach?
Well,
what do you do? Because
Yeah, they've got generally. Let's talk generally. They've got no idea. The people that are handing around the finger
Yeah.
food, you ask them, "Is this got a bit of onion in it?" Oh, I've no idea. I have to check.
Yeah.
They go and check. They get lost, and then they usually they come back, but at the time,
The tray's empty by that stage.
tray's
Yeah.
empty. They have no idea. So yeah, it's a nightmare. It's not a good life.
So on last weekend I went to a wedding and lots of finger food, and I made a very specific point to go up to one of the wait staff and said, "Hey, if anything vegan comes out, can you let me know that this is vegan?"
Josh,
Good
what do you
idea.
think of that? It's
That's
great.
a great idea.
Flawless.
Yeah, went up the staff.
Flawless.
And I
And-
slipped them the 20.
Yeah, but I honestly let most of them know, and even one of them, I was like, "Can you make us something?"
Great.
Wow.
Did they?
A little bit of something. Yeah, got a little bowl of chips.
Perfect.
A bowl of chips.
That was it.
Because I realized that I'm almost like already decided if I'm eating it before. More often than not, I'm not engaging with the finger food because I'm not really that hungry and I'm not into it. And I don't have to think about and considering it. But then the next thing often looks alone. It doesn't matter what it is or what they say it is. If I look at it and I'll go, yep, or I'll go, nah. And then whatever they say doesn't matter. It's immaterial.
Would you like a little finger food menu? Like if you enter a venue, would you like to? Because sometimes they'll
here's
give
what's coming around.
Yeah, here's what's coming around, and then you can pace yourself. Then
that'd be good.
Then you know where your waiting goes.
Yeah. Oh, so that leads us to the next part. If you're missing out on the finger food, are you concerned about your positioning in the room?
Oh, I mean, you can be terribly out of position. You can be terribly. You can miss out on a whole night of food.
Yeah.
if you're
and
not
isn't that
concentrating.
the worst feeling when someone comes up to you and goes, "How good was the gnocchi?" And you're
shocking.
like, "Fucking what?"
Yeah. And
They were gnocchi.
And then you carry the lack of awareness down when you sit down at the table and you don't see the main in front of you.
What do you find often, when there's like one thing left and the waitress is trying to get rid of it? I always feel like I'm doing them a great favor.
Oh, that's
when
a good
they
point.
come over and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll take that one for you. I'll do you a favor.
Because you don't feel as bad when there's something, like if you're at dinner with people and there's something left there, you don't maybe take that you ask. But with that one, it's completely reversed.
the last of the finger food.
Yeah.
You're doing them a favor.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
used to hate that at functions. You'd have a platter, a tray of mixed drinks. You'd have beers, you'd have flutes of sparkling and orange juice.
Yeah.
And the beers would go immediately. It's
tough,
then
isn't
someone would take the sparkling. You'd be like, no one's fucking taking a glass of orange juice.
Why is OJ
Like maybe one, maybe
one.
one or two people taking some orange
That is
juice.
really bad
But then I'm
call.
walking around asking everyone, orange
the
juice,
Take the juice.
orange juice.
Are you, when you're walking into a function, what do you love beer? You enjoy beer?
Yeah, I enjoy beer.
You take a beer.
Josh loves
Yeah, I'd take
beer.
a beer.
You do love beer,
I'd
don't you?
always take a beer.
When was your first beer?
Oh,
What wedding?
I think it was actually you know what it was, ridiculously enough? I think it was my brother's 21st. So I probably would have been like mid-teens. And and I think I mixed it with some Pepsi or something. Because
Why?
I didn't like the taste too much. I was like, I'll put some Pepsi in there.
Gateway.
Yeah, kind of.
Gateway soft drink.
So that's what I did. So anytime there's a tray with Pepsi and beer going around, I'm right in there.
Hey,
Yeah.
what about toothpicks? Have we talked about what do you like? Do you have any opinions on the toothpick?
You better hope you've got a napkin at that point.
Yeah.
So you have a handful of rubbish.
Oh,
Yeah.
You want a little
That-
handful.
Very good pickup, Dion, because the toothpick leads to making sure there is an adequate place to throw away whatever they're giving you.
Well,
Yes.
same as you, Chris,
Yes.
with your noodles and your chips. You end
Yes.
up with a little bucket. What are you doing with your little bucket?
Surely you're just all tossing them down on whatever bar surface you can find.
Or does the tray come around and you put it back on the tray?
I've never
No.
put anything on
I
a
don't think I've
tray.
ever put it back on the
I've never,
tray.
and I never would.
no,
Yeah. It just goes- it ends up
that's
on the
not
table.
my job.
Someone gets paid to do that. We might take a trip now to a new segment called Deserted Island. Now, on the deserted island, we like to get rid of things and remove things. And my submission for today's deserted island is the word cob. I don't think we need the word cob.
Okay, so
I think we can do without the word cob.
so Josh, on today's deserted island, you're throwing away the word cob,
And I'm leaving it there. And I'm sailing away and see you later, cob.
and nothing changes for you. Josh,
I'm better off.
I mean, the obvious one for me, corn on the cob.
Yeah.
What's the corn on if it's not on the cob?
You don't need to know that.
So it's just corn.
Do you want some corn?
Okay, so if I'm buying corn kernels in a can,
There you go.
yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Now how do I keep that distinct from buying corn?
Well, I'll just buy some fresh corn.
Fresh corn.
Sure.
He's good.
So wait a second.
Thank you.
Hang on. We haven't finished discussing this.
I know,
You
but
said
he's
he's
winning.
good because he responded.
No. The fresh corn thing was very good.
Yeah, cool.
Cob not needed.
Yeah,
Next.
sure, no problem. Mexican restaurant, right? They've
Sure.
cooked that corn on the cob.
Yeah.
I want some fresh corn.
Yeah, sure.
No, you're in trouble now.
Yeah.
I want some corn.
And yeah, loose corn.
Yeah,
or
and then you're
corn.
not getting it on the cob.
No, because loose corn is still corn.
Yeah, no, loose corn is loose corn. That's how we start distinguishing.
Hang on. But Christian wants corn on a cob. He
Sure.
wants that.
You go,
You're-
is it loose corn? And I go, no.
And
you
then
go,
what do you say?
"Great."
So it's
Send
gonna
it
be
this way.
so how do you serve your corn?
It's full whole corn.
Hang on, hang on,
Whole
hang on.
corn.
Have you ever been
Complete corn.
Have you been to England?
Yeah.
All right. So we're in the mornings, presumably, like if you're in an Airbnb or something, you want eggs, and then you wander down to the bakery, and you need a loaf of bread.
Wonderful.
You need a cob. You need a cob.
I'm not familiar with that cob. I'm purely exclusively talking about in relation to corn.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine.
You're not
hang on. But you said you wanted the word cob banned because cob has a lot of different
All right, hit me with
applications.
another cob and I'll tell you we get rid of it.
Okay.
Oh look, there's a female swan. Oh look, a cob.
Oh, female
What about
swan.
this?
No. The cob is the male swan.
Okay, there's a male swan. Done.
What about this, Josh?
Dion, you did it yourself.
What do I say with this? G'day, cobber.
What about this? What about this? God, that's a big horse. That's a powerfully built horse, isn't it? That's a cob.
I've never heard
What?
that.
Neither have I.
It's a thing.
Okay,
It's
great.
a cob.
Everything you said then, we'll use that instead.
I know. Useless delivery.
I think
Nah,
it's
the corn doesn't work. The corn doesn't work because
Corn
Chris is
doesn't
in the
work.
Mexican restaurant. They're bringing out cans of corn. They're pouring all over his hair.
So what are they putting on the
What is
menu?
the problem?
What are they
do
putting
put
on the menu?
So for what would previously be called corn on the cob,
Yes.
whole corn.
Whole corn.
Whole corn.
Whole roast.
Brackets,
roast.
no husk.
You keeping husk.
Keep husk.
He's getting rid of cob.
I'm keeping husk. Cob is gone, but we're keeping husk.
All right, I'm going to have to agree for this week.
Hey!
Cob's in the bin.
Cob's in the bin.
Cob's on the island. Bye, Cob. Bye. Bye. See you, Cob.
Bye.
It's now time for a bit of a sound check, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, we're about halfway through the show.
Well, we're halfway through the show, and I really want to test if our mics are working because, frankly, I don't think they are. They're off. But this week's sound check will be Australian native wildlife. Christian, would you like to kick off?
Yeah, you're right, Dion. I probably should test this guy. The rainbow lorikeet was intolerant to wheat. The rainbow lorikeet was intolerant to wheat.
I might check mine as well.
Sure.
The koala was extradited from Guatemala. The koala was extradited from Guatemala. Do you?
Yes, let me check this out. The pygmy possum had his keys but lost them. The pygmy possum had his keys but lost them.
Now, before we were chatting about the show, we were going to do another segment called Team of the Century. We're going to talk about what's in our second drawer down in the kitchen and utensils and those kind of things. And we
It got too heated.
Yeah, it did. And we struck upon something that I was shocked by because I was saying how, well, the second drawer down for me is like the bigger utensils or the less frequently used ones because the top dogs, the most frequent guys, they sit in like a jar or a container on the bench, on the kitchen bench.
Yes.
And Christian does not have that.
I don't have a receptacle for utensils on the bench because that looks ugly.
But so that's the first consideration in a kitchen, whether it looks ugly or not. Not function.
No. There are drawers that function to keep your utensils in.
Huh.
Yeah, but in a pinch, what if you're getting
What's the pinch?
cooking? The
Yeah,
salt.
yeah.
Hot, stove.
No.
Boiling. Quick. Oh, get a spoon.
Got to get the spoon that I already haven't taken out.
Yeah, it's already out. It's always out.
It's
Yeah,
there.
it's already
that's the
there.
problem.
Oh, hang on. It's next to the stove. That's even more convenient.
That's the problem. It's always out.
Yeah, it's great. It's super convenient.
It's Josh, you put it in the drawer, you can get it out of the drawer, and that's where you know they always are. Because what inevitably happens with the vestibule, what do you call it?
I haven't seen that movie.
I can't find the right word. Container? The jar?
The storage.
The pot. Yeah. What do we call it, Dion? He doesn't have one.
The cob.
The cob.
The container.
Yeah.
That you put your utensils in. Someone starts promoting a utensil that should be in the second drawer. And then you get a bit upset and you go,
Yep.
that needs to be relegated. And they go, that's promoted. Then all of a sudden, that utensil container is filled with everything.
But that's why I love and I get quite ruthless with it. When I see something that shouldn't be there, when a whisk ends up promoted to top dog. I'm like, no.
No.
We're not whisking enough things in this
We're
house.
not a whisk household.
We're not a whisk household.
So Josh, is that the true test? The things that you're using most frequently go in a
Yes.
little receptacle.
Yeah. So stuff I've
That's
got
the
in
word.
there. You've got
Receptacle.
Receptacle.
I said vestibule.
I've got your wooden spoons. You've
Yep.
got like a few spatulas.
Multiple
got
wooden
tongs.
spoons.
Hang on.
Yeah, you got
hang on.
multis.
Slow down. Start that list again.
Christian's right. Christian's literally typing it down.
Jesus. This is good stuff.
You've got wooden spoons.
Yep.
Got spatulas.
Yep.
Got tongs.
Hang on.
multiples of each.
You really only need one tong. But
You
but
need multiple
the
tongs.
other-
Everything else singles.
The other thing is that sometimes the drawer, it's too cluttered.
Yeah.
If you put something that's too big in that drawer, can't open the drawer.
I think you suffer from disorganized drawers and you're intimidated by using a drawer.
I think it's fair.
I think the drawer is. Do you have a very large second drawer down?
I have an appropriately sized. It's not like I've got ungodly large drawers.
Is it rammed full of utensils?
No, because I didn't go nuts buying too many. Throw some utensils out.
there we
Are
go.
you rammed with utensils?
I'm
Dion?
pretty rammed with utensils. That's a
Yeah.
good point. I
You
think you
need
can chuck
to-
them out. And you know what? There's nothing better than giving a utensil to an op shop. It's a great feeling. Because sometimes you
yeah.
get utensils from op shops, but there's nothing better than giving them. It's just it's one of those things that you can easily offload.
I'm not going to argue about donating utensils. That's not the argument at hand. But on my bench top, all I have, and maybe you can argue with me about these things, I have my toaster. Because we're going
Fair.
it has to be plugged in.
Josh has got
Fair.
that in the stove.
Kettle.
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yep.
And both of them, aesthetically, they match.
You're Mr. Clean here. I'll put heaps of stuff. So,
But why?
because it's a functional space to be used. What is the point of having bench space if there's nothing on it?
That's the point. Because then you have bench space.
And I have bench space.
I would kill for more bench space. But I don't want to put them in the drawers because then I forget I have them.
I reckon the reality of the situation is when you start to cook, you're like, fucking this thing's just push
It's
that out of the
true.
way, push
It's
that
true.
out of the way.
Well, here's the question. Are there things in your drawer, Dion, and your drawer, Christian, that when you always have a fight with it? And every time you go to open the drawer, like, now I've got to press down that thing and move this thing to the side.
I mean,
do you have that?
It's the measuring
yeah.
cup. It's multiple
Those
1
fucking
cup measuring cups.
The measuring cups are hell.
Yeah.
They never sit inside each other.
Yeah, they're bad.
They always open
It's
out.
the
They're bad.
stupid ring that groups them all together.
A shocking
And
ring.
I've taken the ring off, but then they're all scattered everywhere.
I know. There's no.
I like when they're like
solution?
a babushka doll of measuring cups.
Do you think
Yeah.
that that's a good solution?
That's pleasant because
Yeah.
it groups them, and I like how they all sit together. But I hate when I use them, and then you go to wash them, and they're all wet now.
Yeah,
because
right?
you've washed them all, but
Yeah.
you've used one.
Yeah.
And can I just ask, when you're measuring things into, let's say you're baking a cake and you're measuring like liquids and powders. Let's say you're an idiot and you measure the liquid first, and then you got to measure powders.
Oh, it's the worst.
What do you do?
You go down to the half size, and then you do double.
Actually, is that
Yeah.
what
Don't
you
you
do?
just rinse it and dry it?
There
I
you
don't
go.
do that.
What are the pros and cons of both?
His is probably easier and makes more sense because you're going to end up washing the whole lot anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. But also,
it's a bundle deal.
but also
If
you can
if
never
it's
dry
oil,
it.
Yeah,
you can never dry
Oh,
it.
it's the worst, right? You go, I'm going to use a tea towel, and you go, I'll use a bit of paper towel.
Yeah.
And then still somehow there's water in there.
Yeah.
Have you ever, and I have some at work that I've taken by accident, that's okay. Have you ever used a tea towel? You're like, this is brilliant. This dries everything. It's fantastic. Or is everyone you use,
this is
it moves
why-
the water around.
Listen, this is why people don't understand why I love tea towels so much, is because my grandfather and grandmother growing up had a Italian Manchester and linen and confirmation dresses, communion, all this stuff shop in Reservoir
Oh my
in Melbourne.
God.
I knew what a good quality tea towel was.
Oh my God.
And
You've
so-
just asked the question and the one person in the world that answers is here.
I knew good quality tea towels. So people grew up like, why are you using so many tea towels? I go, because they're good.
Yeah.
And when you got a good tea towel, my God, you don't want to let it go.
I hate them.
Hang on. So so do you know where to get do you have good tea towels?
That actually dry
Now?
things.
I've got the best tea towels.
God. Oh my God. Are you very picky about the tea towels that you buy? Of
course.
Or you don't need to buy them
course.
because you
Some people have given me tea towels and they're in the bottom drawer and they
Great.
stay there forever.
Wow.
I know the tea towels. And the thing is that my nonno still in his garage has boxes. But guess what? You're not getting any.
The other part of the utensil drawer I wanted to discuss
Yes.
is in the top drawer, the cutlery.
Yep.
You got your spoons, you got your forks, you got your knives.
In that order?
I'm spoon, fork, knife.
Yeah.
And
Left to right, left to right.
Yep, left to right. Spoon, fork, knife. And then below that, teaspoons.
Teaspoons,
And then
horizontal.
Yep. And then lane number 4.
Yeah.
What lives in lane number 4 for you, Christian?
Should we say it all at the same
Ooh,
time?
No. One at a time.
I'll do it. 1, 2, 3. Steak knives.
Steak knives.
Yeah,
Steak
knives.
Yeah,
Serrated knives.
fuck.
Serrated knives.
We should have said it at the same time. Steak knives and...
cheese knives.
We can still do it.
Oh, yes. I've got my
weird knives.
bar blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Bar
Yep.
blade.
The
Who's that?
waiter's friend. The
Yeah,
bottle
I know.
opener.
Bottle opener.
Oh,
Big
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
big boy. The blade.
What about chopsticks?
Ooh,
Keep your chopsticks
bottom,
in there?
They're a bottom drawer
They're a
bandit.
bottom drawer.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
no. They're top of the pile for me. They're right up the back. Squeeze them in the back. Don't need them that often, but when I want them to get
Yeah.
close.
man.
You know what? I need to use chopsticks more. They're quite fun.
Yeah.
And even to cook with. I watch a lot of cooking videos. People turning
Really?
small things with
And it's a way the way
Chopsticks?
they hold them when they're cooking. It's like a different thing altogether.
the finesse. Like everything's a
Oh.
fine art.
It's a beautiful language.
It's
yeah.
micro.
Is your 4th lane quite full?
My 4th lane is full.
Fucked, yeah.
Absolutely,
Overflowing.
Yeah, right?
absolutely
Shocking.
packed. But now I've started, because I can push them all to the end of the lane, now at the front of the lane, it's all elastic bands. That's my elastic band collection. Yeah.
What do you use them for?
The elastic bands?
Yeah.
Mainly to seal my coffee bags.
But we alluded to it before. Christian, you said you had these beautiful tea towels in the bottom drawer. Have you got anything else in there? It was just full of tea towels.
No, it's full to the brim of tea towels.
You don't need them all, right?
People in my family have at least 30 tea towels each. Every member of my family has at least 30 tea towels.
Chet,
and they're on, and at any given moment, 5 or 6 on rotation.
So, my uses, drying things, use them like underneath a chopping board to keep it steady.
I do.
I love that.
What else?
Okay, I can
What
tell
else?
you right now.
Yeah.
I've got one hanging over the handle of my oven,
Yeah, but
and I
what's it
use
do?
that for
Doesn't do anything, doesn't do anything.
exclusively for drying my hands.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
I have a separate
I have
towel for that, but that's a
one
good one.
tea towel that is a little bit damp that wipes the surfaces,
That's what
and then I can re-wipe. Then I can
what a chucks is used for, mate.
No, but I reckon that's a
but
bit-
you
that's a
throw
bit-
it chucks away, don't you, Josh?
After a very long time.
Yeah, because you're a filthy boy.
There you go. Comes out.
I have another tea towel that goes underneath the chopping board
Yeah.
all the time because
Why is this multi-purpose
listen,
stuff?
I'm
Sight to behold.
explaining
Don't interrupt Christian when
because
he's
when
explaining
there's
something.
there's offcuts from chopping, there's ground from coffee.
Doesn't move as well.
It does.
stabilizes
That's
it.
one of the beauties of a tea towel. But also, you can pick it all up at the end and go flip, 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 flip into the garden or into your compost bin. All good. Don't and the bench
yeah,
top
but-
remains clean
Oh, it's
But
such a
why
good
can't
idea.
that one and the hand drying one be the same one?
because I want to dry my hand with a clean tea towel.
But hey, how dirty is it getting when it sits on the bench?
With
Depends
the
what you're
food
cutting.
yeah.
He's got it. He's got it all over you, mate.
Josh, I've been
You got
doing
one
this
tea towel
for
that doesn't-
33 years.
and so have his people. You've got
He's
one.
just part of big tea towel. I know what he's like.
No, I think
Listen.
it's very liberal use of tea towel, and it makes sense because you're going to do the washing anyway. You're going to put in another towel. What's an
Yeah.
extra tea towel going to do?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Guys, I'm very excited about the future of tea towels.
I think it's huge.
Get it on the ground floor, guys. These tea towels are going to the moon.
I'm 10xing tea towels.
Josh, can I just ask you, Christian has got all these bloody tea towels. Where do you reckon he's got his cling wrap? Where's he's got his alfalfa oil, whatever you call it?
because
you got a stupid word for that, don't you?
Alfoil.
What is alfalfa oil?
That's like the
Aluminium foil.
aluminium foil.
But why don't
It's a
call it-
portmanteau, whatever it's called.
Portmanteau.
Portmanteau.
What do you
Where's
mean?
that?
What do you call it? The silver paper.
Portmetronome.
foil.
For alfoil and
Alfoil.
foil, same thing.
But what's alfoil? Is that
Aluminum foil.
No, is that
Aluminium
the brand?
no, it's the chemical name. I
There,
don't
no,
know.
what is it?
It's
Aluminium
just,
foil
It's,
is the
it's
name
the
of the
way
thing.
that
What
you-
else do you shorten? What, you say brekkie instead of breakfast?
Hang on, it's saying you understand this.
Of course I understand. I've got a brain.
Why are you asking then?
Because I'm wondering why he calls it. I don't call
We
it
had
alfoil.
a great beat to get out of this talking point.
I know, and I just wanted to explore the alfoil. TYSM, or thank you so much for listening to another episode of Welcome to Patchwork. Hey, write us a review. We haven't gotten one in a while. Apple Podcast, do a search. This is getting repetitive.
Spotify as well.
Spotify's
They
good.
do reviews.
Can you write reviews, or you just give it a rating?
I remember doing it. I think I can probably do both.
So I guess we'll ask you, what are you listening in now? And what can you do for us?
Just a reminder on our socials across all the big names. YouTube's good fun as well. If you want to catch us on that, we're releasing a lot of social clips.
Oh.
Engage with those and help them grow.
Yeah, write little nice comments. Give us a thumbs up. Do whatever you
Thumbs
can.
up.
Help us.
Only if you like it.
And if you haven't, go to patreon.com/welcome to Patchwork. Become a supporter of the show. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
put in $2.
Or should it be put your money where your ears is?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. It kind of ruins the messaging that we're going for. Think about this. You can spend $2 a month,
Yeah.
and that goes such a long way for us.
Oh, yeah.
And if enough of you do it, maybe we can do a little bit more with this show. Maybe we'll start streaming.
You know
Love
what?
that. Love that.
On the horizon, a patchwork house.
In a good neighborhood, Dion.
If you want us
In a good-
if you want to see us living together, become a patron. www.patreon.com/welcome to
That is
Patchwork.
great. That would be like a big
Patchwork
brother
house.
thing.
Yes.
Great.
And as we do every week, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh! What patch did you sew into our quilt?
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week is Christian, working as a waiter and offering a tray of finger food along with a nice twisted stack of tea towels. Christian, what patch did you sew this week?
Thank you, Josh. This week I sewed into my patch the only thing on my kitchen benchtop, a single lit candle in front of a framed picture of a tea towel. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is simply Christian switching his nonna from a prepaid to a postpaid tea towel plan. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Welcome to Patchwork. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
And a special goodbye to our older listeners in Israel, in Yiddish. Sei gesund.
Sei gesund.
Sei gesund.